Alright guys, Jason Graystone here from Trading Powered. Just finished off the London live room. Still short the dollar yen, waiting for target 2s to be hit. Got long euro yen at 120.10. Almost hit target 1s on that. It's looking quite good. Also, the FTB strategy played out on both the pound dollar and the euro dollar. And if you don't know what the FTB strategy is, which you probably don't, make sure you sign up for the workshop, the free strategy workshop that I'm going to host, and I'm going to give you all the rules of engagement into that strategy, how to manage it, how to enter it, what to look for, and show you how to test it as well. So that's Friday the 10th, and the link is here if you need to register, and the link's below the video as well. But I just wanted to share with you quickly an opportunity we was looking at on the Aussie CAD. And I'm going to start out on the dailies and work our way down to the lower time frames to try and seek out a trading opportunity here. Now, this will be classed as one of my swing trades. I'm done with my day trading for the day, so I'm going to be going down to my swing trading time frames to seek out a potential trading opportunity here on the Aussie CAD. So what we're looking at as we go through that IPDE process, identify, predict, decide, execute, we're looking at a bullish market which is continuing to put in higher highs, okay, and higher lows. Now, the next level of structure that we're predicting a retest of is up here at 0.320s, okay? We know these levels are like magnets. Next level is likely to be tested is up here at 0.320s. You can see we've got our DSR level up here. So if we've identified the market's bullish and we're predicting where it's more likely to go next, the next thing to do is decide how we can get involved. Well, we know that once we put in a new structure higher, we're looking for a pullback to buy the lows. And you can see that price action has pulled right back down into previous structure resistance becomes support. Okay, so as we push down into this level, we're starting to build out our kill zone. Now, kill zone really is the previous outside return to the previous high, okay? So as we pull down into this level, we can start to build out a kill zone. Doesn't matter that it's broad, because we're going to drop down the time frames and see how we can get involved on a lower time frame. And just to show you why we're on the dailies, you can see we've got our big cipher down here. It's 97.38 for any of you guys that trade on the dailies. I don't personally trade off of the dailies. I use it as that higher time frame confirmation. Alright, so as we drop down to the 240 here, this is where we can really start to build out the best entry area. Okay, so as a trend continuation trader, I'm shooting for a retest of these highs. Okay, so I'm shooting for a retest of these highs for my target 1s. Now, target 2s, once target 1s are hit, I can trail my stops and then shoot for those extended targets up at that next level of 0.320s. But for as a trend continuation trader, I want to take off some profit at a retest of the highs. So where can I get involved? Well, as we see, we've put in our new structure high, and we haven't since retested that high. So as we push down into the kill zone, you want to start building out. I can start building out where I can enter this trade. Now, I've got a 100 pip stop loss limit. Okay, so as I pull down into this area, the first thing I want to do is measure out where my stop loss needs to go. And I know that it's an ATR is going to put me about 30 pips, 31 pips below this low, right? So I measure out the low. I know that I've got to be 31 pips below it. So that's going to put me down at 92. Okay, so stops go at 0.992. And then I can work out where I can enter this to get me under 100 pips of stop. So if my stops are at 0.992, I can't enter any higher than 0.092. Okay, so that's my maximum 100 pip stop loss. And I can draw that on, and I now know that instead of this being my kill zone, this is my kill zone. So from the previous outside return to my maximum 100 pips stop limit. Hopefully that makes sense. And as a trend continuation trader, I'm looking to take targets at a retest of the highs. And I know that that's going to provide me with a decent risk reward. So the next question is, how can I get involved? Because we haven't quite had a pull back into this kill zone yet. Well, now we know that if price action does pull into this zone, this is the area that I'm going to start to look for that buying opportunity. And there's a few ways we can get involved here. First way would be to wait for price action to push into this kill zone. If price action pushes into the kill zone, then I look for the RSI to go oversold. If RSI goes oversold, then I can look for that higher high, higher close candle entry. Now, all of that needs to happen within this pink zone. Now, the idea is to identify an area of the market where we're most likely to see a reaction. We're most likely to see market reverse, okay? Now, if we're thinking like the other traders, we can start to narrow down this kill zone even more. So think about, if we take an equal measured move, the traders looking at the ABCD formation are looking at this area here, okay? So we've got an ABCD formation already completing in our already narrowed down kill zone. So that's a good sign, right? Next up, we've got this nice little structure shelf in here as well at that level, 0067s. Now, if we was to bring on our fib extension tool and go from swing high to swing low, you're going to see we've got that 127 extension lining up with that ABCD formation as well. So let's just take these off. And you're going to see we've got 127 extension in that zone as well. So we're really trying to narrow this down even more. Now, if we was to bring on a fib inversion, you're going to see that we've got a 127 inversion lining up with that level as well. So we've got some fib confluence. Those of you who use Fibonacci tools to build out confluence. So this might be an area that you're looking at for price action to pull down. You may enter aggressively, or you may look for a bit more of a conservative entry, maybe a double bottom down here on a lower time frame. But if you're not conservative and you're not looking for RSI to go oversold or a higher high closed candle, whatever it is, what else can you do? You might have guessed it. Well, if you trade advanced patterns, you've got a Gartley pattern completion because we've got our 127 extension down there. We've got a Gartley pattern completion down at 10069. Now, what that means is if you're entering aggressively on the pattern, if you're using a 113 inversion based stop loss for your pattern, well, look where that lines up. You don't need to move your stop loss. Your stop loss stays the same, and your risk reward all of a sudden becomes this much. Make sense? So that's one of the opportunities on my radar. Very high probability trading opportunity down here, 0069 for entries as aggressively. And I'll be keeping a close eye on this, and I'll be looking for extended targets as well. So I'll change my targets up using the pattern as an entry into a longer term trend continuation trade. So that's what's on the radar, guys. There's a couple of other things. If you're not already registered for the FTB event on Friday, here's the link again. Be sure to stick around and check out the other videos on this channel, and I'll see you in the live room.